All right. We are live. You got Jason Porter, myself, Chad Hassan with seaofred.com, and our man Darius McGhee. Before we talk to Jason, I have a question for you about the real estate market. You guys can find Jason Porter Real Estate. He's with Legacy Realty. Legacy Realty. You can see all of his information down there at the bottom. He's been giving us some helpful tips along the way. Really appreciate it. I've learned so much, Jason, to be honest with you. I know that you sponsor this thing. We got your ad and everything, but honestly, I learned so much every week talking to you, man. I appreciate it. And Darius, pay attention. I know you're going to be buying a house here soon. Um, what if you're a first time home buyer, just a general, doesn't know a lot about home maintenance, it's just driving, looking through Zillow, you're driving around looking for houses, what are like the three main things that you want to look for in a house?
Yeah, it's perfect, Chad. I've got kind of a big three that I always talk to my first-time home buyers about, but even if you know these tips, it's kind of good to be reminded of. One of the first things, especially with the way the weather has been right now, this kind of preaches truer than ever, and that is the roof. If you can get a newer roof, if it passes the eye test driving by, you see those roofs that look brand new and the ones that look a little bit older. That's probably a pretty good indication on the age of roof, because that does make a big difference with energy bills and water issues, those kind of things. Second thing is windows. If you can have a house or a townhouse that has newer windows versus something that's a little bit older, you've got energy efficiency issues there, so heating and cooling and those kind of things. And again, these first two are very appropriate given our snow and ice storm outside. The third one's a little bit tougher, and that is the heat pump or the air conditioner, the heat unit outside. If you can get a newer one of those, that's always a good thing. The first two you can usually do on a drive-by. Just kind of with the visual, analyzing the heat pump outside. You got to be careful that you don't get a trespassing charge or something like that. You got to be careful on that one. But those are the big three for sure to pay attention to, and it can cost a lot of money down the road or save you some money in advance.
Very cool. So the windows with the old metal latch, that's a no-go, right?
Yeah, not the best, not the
Yeah,
best.
okay. All right. Appreciate that. Let's bring in Darius over here. Darius, before we get going too far, I just want to get your initial reaction when I say, hey, you have the 48 points, highest points in this season for a D1 game. You scored 37 in the second half. Man, just tell us what your initial reaction was to that, like now that you've had a couple days to soak it in. I know in the post game press conference you were like, I don't even know, didn't even know I was scoring that much and all this stuff, and you were deflecting to your teammates, which you always do so well. Now that you've had a couple days to soak it in, I'm sure you've gotten text messages from friends, family, and everybody. What does this mean to you, and kind of how special has this last couple days been?
I don't think it's anything that I really soaked in too much. Like it's always good that when you put in the work and you really commit yourself to your team, and to know that your pursuit is to win each and every possession and ultimately to win the game. And then on the back end to know that you like performed in such a way is always a great feeling. But like I said in the meeting after the game, I had no idea. People were telling me, and I never looked at the scoreboard up top in the arena to see or to check, because my whole goal was just to win the game. However, it needed to be done. Like we were gonna all buy in and do what we had to do. So
All right. Well, one other thing here to take care of, and want to put these up here. While we're at it, we got some T-shirts out here. We got the Darius logo, the Jumpman. I got a question about that in a minute. You got this Darius replica jersey tee. This is the exact markings, exact fonts of the red jersey Darius scored his 48 in. And then here's the Jumpman tee, or the Darius Jumpman tee. The question about these T-shirts, Darius, real quick, is how cool is this to have a T-shirt with your stuff on it? Friends and family back home, I know, are buying these things up. Just like a kind of a keepsake thing for you. That's the first question. How cool is it? And second question is that really you jumping on that T-shirt?
it's definitely me jumping on that T-shirt. Like you can kind of see like my hair in the picture, so that's
Yeah.
definitely true. But it's super cool because I remember as a kid, like my favorite athletes or favorite basketball players, they were all sponsored by these like big time companies, whether it's Nike, Adidas, or at the time Reebok. So it's kind of cool to like know how I used to like buy everything of theirs just because I was such fans and have such a strong fan base that people support not only just me but our players, and they buy things that we put out or that we're a part of. So it's definitely a cool feeling. It's almost like the time has just flipped. You go from the kid wanting to be like somebody, and then you have kids reaching out and kids buying your stuff. So it's super unique.
Yeah, that is
Darius,
awesome, man.
if that T-shirt just came with a guarantee that you'd help us all with a 43-inch article, that'd be pretty sweet.
I'll give you some
Yeah.
tips after.
Yeah. All right, go ahead,
I
Jason.
like it. I like it. Yeah, Darius, I was just going to ask you too, man. If anybody's spent any time watching your game, I think there are so many fundamentals that are just so obvious in the way that you play. You take care of the ball so well. Your shooting form is so pure. And all the things that you do that are literally, as I said, fundamental. We have a lot of young guys that are watching you. We've talked about that quite a bit. Young players that are watching you. When you hear that word fundamentals and you think what that actually means to you, what kind of fundamentals have you focused on through your career? And I guarantee even to this day, today, you're still working on a lot of the fundamentals consistently in and out. But what elements of that are so important to you?
I was always taught that it was fun in the fundamentals. Like fun is the beginning of that word. So just understanding the fundamentals of the basketball game, whether that's on the ball with the ball in your hands or off the ball. Like I was always taught to never be limited as a basketball player and can only play with the ball in your hands. So I think you have to be able to recognize and identify what's going on the court and how to execute certain actions and the reads out of different actions. Like I think it's critical as a basketball player, especially at the collegiate level, to be able to have those answers in your back pocket and on the fly be able to read and adjust. Because I think Coach Seuss made a reference the other day. It was like if the world was like going down, it wouldn't be the biggest animal, it wouldn't be the fastest animal, it wouldn't be the strongest animal. It would be whatever animal was able to adapt. That would be the animal that survives. So I kind of take that same mindset onto the basketball floor, especially at my nature. Is like you have to be able to maneuver and operate throughout whatever circumstances.
So let's talk about this 48 a little bit more in depth here. We come down, we're watching the highlights here. First of all, shout out to our guy Vines Palm Connection. He is providing us so much great Liberty basketball content. I love it, and he put together this 9-minute clip of the highlights. I've been watching this over and over. Darius, there was a lot made about the second half, and players say they get in a zone. You talk to us a lot every other week when we talk to you. You talk to us a lot about just pursuing the best shot possession. Um, how do you mix those two? How do you mix the hey coach, I'm feeling it, coach, I'm in the zone versus hey, let's pursue a good shot each possession. Do you kind of kick that out the window when you're feeling it like this and you're just like, all right, just give me the ball. It's going in when I throw it up. Or are you still like, all right, we got to go through our possession here. We got to pursue the best shot. And there is really no wrong answer here. I'm just trying to get your mindset of where are you in a game like that?
My intentionality is the same each and every possession. Like I don't think you can take plays off or take reps off within the possession. Like you got to be pursuing with everything you do, whether that's attacking the basket with the ball in your hands or going, sprinting really hard and setting a hard screen. Like all those things tie in together. So like you play on offense to score the ball, so you do everything 100%. Like the defenders aren't going to let their foot off the gas, so why should you as an offensive player let your foot off the gas? No matter what your responsibility is in that possession. In a mix of a game like that, I don't think I've ever like said I'm in the zone, trump the play. I think our coach, we have so much freedom and versatility in our offense, and my teammates they also believe in me and they always encourage me to be aggressive. So I think the combination of all of that, like it allows you to be pursuing and just make the most out of each possession.
Darius, do you remember a time in the Florida Gulf Coast game here where it really felt like the tide turned, the momentum switched to you guys? Was there a player or two that stands out as you think back to that game?
I think it goes to the halftime huddle. Like we feel like in the first half we came out not as tough as we wanted to be, and they came out and punched us in the mouth, and they had a solid lead, solid cushion going into halftime. So I think the way we talked to one another at halftime and communicated what we seen going on the floor, and our ability to come out at halftime and execute those things and raise the bar for us from the jump, from the 20-minute mark. I think that changed the tide of the game.
I don't know, I'm watching this and you can hear the audio when you cut the audio up, you can hear the audio of people be like, watch this, watch your teammates' reactions right here. They all like put their hands on their head like, oh my word, what are we seeing? I want to know what Coach McKay had to say. Did he any of his old game film? And I mean, he was super complimentary in the press conference, talking about one of the best individual performances he's ever seen and that kind of thing. But I have a feeling I've heard McKay and I've been around enough to know that he probably got his shots in and kind of made sure that you knew how good of a player he was, or whatever it is. He's just has this really fun way of picking and kind of and giving jabs. I'm wondering if he did any of that after a 48-point game, or is that enough to kind of say, "Hey, coach, that was 48."
Anytime there's a highlight or something spectacular happens, coach is gonna make a comment like he did it back in his era, whichever era that was. We're not sure if it was the 50s, 60s, 70s, or whatever era that was. But and we have no film. There's no proof, so there really isn't anything to back that up. Coach Seuss always turns his head, and apparently they've been together for 30 plus years. So I can't really say too much about that. But like we're nothing without Coach McKay, like or all of our assistants. Just the way that they've like gave us so many. To me, I say weapons. Like they've given us so many weapons to use on the offensive end. So it's just up to us to decide which weapon we need to pull out in the arsenal, depending on how the game is going. They empower us and give us that freedom to use those, and that's huge for us, especially with the versatility that we have on the floor at 1 through 5.
Darius, as you're going into game prep with a game like FGU here, there's certain things, obviously, as you guys are studying film and watching the opponent and everything like that. Do you pick up on some nuances sometimes where you literally start getting sweaty palms and you're like, oh yeah, I think this could be the game where, you're just seeing some reads, you're seeing some matchups, you're seeing the ability to do some ball screens, and so much of your shots here coming off of these great ball screens that are wide open. What do you see sometimes when you're watching pre-scout film kind of thing and lining up, and do you get pretty juiced going into it knowing I think this could be the game that it's all just going to kind of come to me?
Yeah, you definitely have to study film really hard. Like you definitely have to hone in on each detail that they have, whether that's on the offensive end or the defensive end. Like as you're going through that and you're thinking of ways to capitalize on it, like each player, all of our players on the team, they're gonna see it from their own perspective. So they're gonna have their own ways that they think that we can exploit that or execute that. Now it's just a matter of us pulling all those things together and we analyze which is best and how to maximize our opportunities on that end of the floor. So like anytime we go through scout or go over a team, like there's always confidence that we know we can figure out a way how to win the game.
So this is I don't know if this is an era thing or this is just a personality thing for you, Darius, or how you play the game. But I remember when JJ Redick was playing back in the early 2000s, and other great shooters and scorers have said this same thing. But JJ would come in at halftime, and they literally Duke had to carry two jerseys for him because they were stretching out his jersey so bad in the first half, trying to hold him and grab him. They were really, really physical with him. And also, they would show pictures of him after games, and he would just have claw marks all over him, and just like, it was a really physical thing. And it used to be the thing, honestly. It used to be the thing, like, hey, that's their top scorer. We got to get in his head a little bit. We got to kind of intimidate him a little bit, but also be physical with him and not let him run around. I don't see that much, but I'm watching it on TV, so I can't really say. Has that kind of gone out of the game, or is that just do you think that's just I don't know. I'm just wondering from an elite scorer's perspective, do they gun on you in terms of physicality and stuff like that because you can score the basketball?
The game is physical itself, honestly. Like you can't go into any collegiate basketball game and not expect some type of physicality. And JJ Redick is a perfect example of like you can just see like his career and just the level that he's reached. Like dealing with that type of physicality, you gotta for one be mentally tough and you gotta be able to get through it mentally and figure out ways around it. And then physically you also have to be sharp. You have to watch film on how certain guys play off ball and learn ways or just see ways how you can exploit that as well. But I don't think you can go into any game not expecting it to be some type of physicality, not to come out with some type of bruise. Like, if you're looking over your shoulder or you're flinching at this level, then you'll stand no chance.
Darius, you have to remember what the head coach said to you after the game.
Uh, it was all jokes. It was just a comment made during the game, but he congratulated me on the game and told me what he thought of me as a player. So it was just a great conversation.
I mean, for us fans, we're not ever going to close the book on this 48. We're going to remember this. We're going to watch these highlights. We're going to soak in this performance. But for you as a player, we talk a lot about being able to rebound from tough losses, but also come back down off of something that might be a unique mountaintop experience in the season because you have a tough opponent coming up tomorrow night. I mean, so what is that like for you? How do you prepare yourself mentally for a game tomorrow that your team might only need you to get 17 in a win? How do you prepare yourself for that?
I think when you're mature, you understand that like nights like that don't happen. You can't go out and expect to drop that many points each and every given night, and you can definitely get caught up in it. But the great thing about our program and like how we just our mentality of pursuing each and every possession, it's not like you don't really expect to get the shot. If you're the one who gets the shot and you make the shot, then everybody's happy and clapping. But if you're the guy who sets the screen and somebody's open, everybody's happy and clapping. If you just burn to the opposite side and it causes the defense to collapse a little bit, it's the same type of celebration. So we never go in the game expecting a certain amount of points. However the game plays out, nobody really looks at the box score and be upset or super happy about it. You can ask any of the guys. I don't think they'll say like I was super excited that I scored however many points. Like it was the same type of celebration as if I scored 7 points.
Wow, that is some stuff. I mean, that's what great teams of honestly. I've been a part of that. We run into and when everybody grabs the scorebook and sees how many each person had, and those were toxic teams. And then you turn the page, and the teams that are only concerned about winning. That's impressive. So hey, Darius, we appreciate your time tonight. Jason, thanks as always, man, for jumping on with us and for doing a little early tonight. We wanted to get ahead of tomorrow's game, so I appreciate you guys jumping on. And Darius, thanks, man. Thanks for all the work you put in. You talk about that all the time when you have something good like this happen. Hey, I'm just going off of my reps that I've had and stuff like that. So thank you for the work you've put in. It's starting to pay off, or it has been paying off for a long time, and hopefully it continues that way. So looking forward to tomorrow night. Hopefully the McGhee family makes it up from North Carolina. I always love going in and seeing them come up. So with the snow and stuff. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night.
Thank you guys. Jason, I'm gonna be make sure I'm looking at windows.
Nice. All right. I have one other thing to get to here, and Darius, he was gracious enough to get us with his time. Look, this tweet was put out by Liberty Men's Basketball a couple days ago. It said "Goat Talk." You can't really see, but zoomed in the background, there's a bunch of tweets here about Darius and his performance. I just wanted to weigh in on where I thought Darius fit in the GOAT talk. I think last night on a live stream, Paul Nagazian, sorry, Paul, if I butchered your last name, but he basically said it best. He said Darius is on the fast track to goathood. And I believe it, man. And what he's done so far, and then Tim Scarborough has been around the program for a long time. He even played for Liberty back in maybe our first NCAA tournament appearance. So he's seen all the greats. He used to call the games on TV. He's been around the program forever. And he said, hey, let's let it play out. Let's let it play out. We don't need to be doing this in the middle of the season. And I kind of said in the comments, hey, it's over. It doesn't matter what happens the rest of the season. Darius has proven himself to be the greatest of all time to ever put on a Liberty jersey. And I still believe that, but I think those are wise words from those two. Let's let it play out. And then, after his career's over, then we can rank him. And John over to Sea of Red will write an article and put him at the top of the list. John last night went through all of his stats like, hey, never lost a conference tournament game. Imagine that. Imagine going into your fourth year and never losing a conference tournament game. You just heard Darius say this is a team game. We're not looking at stats. So if you're looking at it from a team perspective, it's very easy to see. If you're looking at it from an individual perspective, he has the school record in most points in a game. So all the things are looking towards this. I just thought this was an amazing graphic. Shout out Jacob Webb, who designed this for Liberty men's basketball. The GOAT Talk. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It was kind of starting to heat up there after a 48-point performance. Just wanted to weigh in and say, I think it's going to happen. I think it's already there. But some wise words from some Liberty alum, basketball alum. Let's let this thing play out, and then we can enjoy it once it's over. So just wanted to weigh in on the GOAT Talk here, and much appreciated everybody for watching tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow night over in the Liberty Arena, and we will see if Darius has an encore for his 48-point performance. But as you heard tonight, it doesn't matter if he doesn't score. If he scores 7 points, the team gets the win and they stay undefeated in conference. That's how you know this is a mark of a great player, a great person, but also Coach McKay has done a great job with getting these guys to buy in, winning. So that'll do it for tonight. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next time. Go Flames.